Hi, this is Secret City Geek Lab with another video game review with Davey Lynham. We're talking about the MMO Neverwinter.
Yes.
All right. What is Neverwinter?
Neverwinter is an MMORPG. It's in its open beta. It's a D&D based MMO where you try and save the town or the city Neverwinter. Your goal is to kind of stop the forces that are destroying the city and work with the general and kind of save the world or the city that you live in.
Okay, what are the forces? People? Are they creatures? What?
It ranges from oryx to humans to thieves to rats to skeletons and everything in between.
Okay, and so you are a character. You create a character and you're interacting with other people within the city.
Correct. Currently they have 5 different classes. They have the Trickster Rogue, they have the Control Wizard, they have the Dedicated Cleric, they have the Great Weapon Fighter, and then they have the Guardian Defender.
Okay. And how has your gameplay been? What kind of characters do you take, and how's it worked out for you?
Well, I've played 2 characters. You get 2 free character slots. I've played a Cleric, and a Great Weapons Fighter. The Cleric has been absolutely a lot of fun. It seems that every time you level, there's something new that opens up to you. You know, you get a new ability or a new trait to your character, like mounts, or you get companions to follow you around and do dungeons in, along with your teammates. And it seems like every time you level, you really kind of open up something new.
How about the gameplay? You're playing with other people? Is interacting with other people kind of, I guess, having not done MMOs, is it kind of intimidating to work with other people, or how does that interaction work out?
I've always enjoyed MMOs because a lot of it is teamwork, especially in this. It's D&D based where, you know, in D&D, you're working with the people you're sitting around. So in this, when you're doing dungeons or you're doing fights or you're even PvP, player versus player, you really kind of have to stick with your team, make a little plan, and attack it together, you know, as a team. And it's really community-based, so you kind of have to sit down, talk with your team, chat with your team, or kind of develop a way to play your character so you can support your teammates.
Okay, so you're actively communicating with the other teammates.
Yes.
All right, and do you find your teammates through a party-based system where they match you up, or do you have to just kind of go out and recruit?
Well, you could do either. There is a system where anywhere in the map you can enter a queue for certain dungeons or skirmishes, which are fights against enemies, random fights, or the PvP, and they'll match you with random people. But you can also create a party of 5 and then just go in and face another team or do the skirmishes or dungeons.
How does Neverwinter compare with other MMOs?
Neverwinter in a lot of aspects are like other MMOs, but 2 factors really kind of set it apart. One of them is the combat system. It's a very kind of heavy combat system. It really requires you to focus and think about the moves you're about to make. And it requires, you know, moving around the map and planning out your moves. And it's just so much fun to play the combat system, and the combat is never boring.
So you just can't rush in and start button mashing.
Yeah, essentially. The other factor that has set this game apart from other MMOs is the Foundry. And what the Foundry is users are able to create quests and maps and dungeons for other players to play. Almost like D&D, where the DM or the dungeon master will create these maps for the players to go and raid and fight. Users can create it and then post it on the game. Even when you reach end game, there's always constantly something you can be doing from the users that posted dungeons and quests.
Okay, so what do you like about Neverwinter?
I absolutely love the combat system. It's just so much fun. It's easy to learn, and you know you can master it. It gives you the ability to master. I love the idea of the Foundry because it gives users the ability to kind of stray away from the game and kind of play what other people are making, or get a group of friends and one of them makes a dungeon and you guys can just go and always create something new. So there's never something you can't be doing in the game.
And what did you not like about Neverwinter?
What I don't like about Neverwinter is kind of the play-to-win-esque style. There's a lot of things in the cash shop that kind of give players edges, and it feels like you're going to have to shell out money at some point.
So you can buy your way to immortality, or there's a certain level in which you can't overcome certain tasks and obstacles unless you start laying out cash.
No, it's not that. It's you can buy such great things in the cash shop, but they're so expensive, and it's a little overwhelming to think, oh, I would love that, but it's just so expensive. Fortunately, they put in the game a system where you can trade a certain currency for this currency they use in the cash shop.
So you can kind of earn some of this stuff.
You can earn it, but it feels like early in the game, it's going to be forever till.
Okay, so it's currently in beta. They're not charging you right now, are they?
Absolutely not.
And are they charging in the store as well?
They are charging in the store. There's a couple things. There's companions you can buy. There's mounts you can buy.
Okay.
There's big packs worth $60. There's a pack worth $200.
Okay, so I assume a lot of that is transferable when it's out of beta. If you're spending that kind of money.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea when it's coming out of beta?
I don't.
So when it's out of beta, is it just going to feel like the way it currently feels, or is there something more formal that's going to happen?
I feel like what they're doing with this open beta is really focusing on the bugs, because a lot of the content is already released, and everything that they mentioned for the game, the big promos, are already there, like the Foundry and the Cash Shop and the ability to create guilds. It really feels like a way for the users to find the bugs that the game has, because it already has so much content.
Okay. And will you have to pay once it's out of beta to play the game, or is it generally free?
It's free to play.
Okay, so from a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rank Neverwinter Beta?
Neverwinter Beta is an 8.
This is Alan. I'm talking to Davey Lynham, and this was our review of Neverwinter.